Start recording. Cool. I thought the best way to explain this would be making a video. I tried. Someone asked me how to range control with fang fighters, and I was trying to explain it over a message. But it's really hard to do without showing, like actually showing it on a board. So having TTS here is going to be useful. But basically, you can use. I'm not going to do I'll do a larger base ship in a second, but just using like options of Vader and Luke. Like these are two main things in the game that you probably do want to always get range one on that first engage to kill them. So, for instance, Vader is a faster ship, has access to a 5 straight and boosting. So he moves about a 7 speed, 5 plus base plus 1 for boost, so about a 7. And then Luke, Battle of Yavin Luke, fastest is a 4 with a boost, so that's about a 6 speed move. So just to put that into perspective, if we move Vader a 5 straight, he is about here on the board. So that means he has range. Well, I don't even need to do that. I can just pull up his arc. He has that much range, right? So with Fenn, I think a 3 just puts you in that range. A 3 straight would not put you in that range, but it'll just out. So a 5 straight from Vader means that if anyone goes a 4 or faster, like if you go a 4 or faster with your Fenn, he's going to be able to shoot you. Vader, obviously, if he wants that first turn shot at range 3, he's going to boost. So that means if you go a 3, you're definitely getting hit. So the best option is to do a 2 straight, which will put you in range still, but like that's probably your best option. Like maybe if you weren't directly next to each other, like let's just say Fenn started probably over here instead of directly in front, Vader would just bank boost. Yeah, it's really tricky. So unless it kind of depends because sorry, I'm sick when I'm recording this. This is sorry if my voice is weird and I'm crying. It's just sickness. If you're facing off against a Vader and you've placed your Fenn first, you don't get an option to not place when you want. He's gonna hit you turn 1 unless you one hard away. Obviously, as a jousting ship, you don't really want to do that. I've got plenty of games I've played where I've tried like against like a Vader Jendon list where obviously they've rushed down the board and Fenn's gotten smashed because he's stuck at range range 2 because you can obviously you can also dial in the 5 straight, but your problem is it's a gamble because of road. If you 5 straight and he just does a 5 straight himself instead of a boost, so just a 5 straight, you're going to be at range 3, he's going to boost into range 2, and then you're a fang fighter at range 2, which is the worst spot. You want to be either range 3 or range 1, preferably always range 1. So obviously that's a bad situation. So you've got to you got to take the gamble. You either got to say, okay, he needs to move. I'm going to do a 5 straight, and he must move first, do a 5 straight boost. Like that has to happen. Otherwise, you're going to be in a suboptimal position. So the best way I found is to just do the 2 straight. If I'm versing fast ships like Vader, Kylo, who else is fast in other factions? Poe, even like ships like that. Like I always stay slow, do a 2 straight, which is basically guaranteed. If you want to get a shot on me, it must be range 3. That also means you're not stressed coming into the next round, which is great because you'll just be focused. He'll come in, he'll have his 3 dice shot with rerolls and stuff. You'll be on 4 dice for focus. You might have lone wolf for a reroll, who knows? But yeah, that's your most optimal position. Whereas if you have Luke, who can only go a 4 straight with a boost, he is just a little bit less than, Vader. So if you look here, your 2 straight doesn't hit. I think the 3 straight, undo that. 3 straight might hit. I'm not too sure. I normally do 3 straights. Yep, that does hit. If you're in a position like this, you could try and barrel out, I guess. Like that would work if you're at that slight offset, which is great. I would be, if you're jousting a Luke Skywalker, you might want to do that. I reckon I probably would. But most of the time I found when I'm versing someone playing Luke, they're gonna go for a 1/1. So that means they're basically just going to turn one. They're just going to say, okay, I've got Proton Torps. You're a Fang fighter. I'm going to sit way back. So if they're doing a 1 straight, your first turn, I always, if I'm trying to joust Luke Skywalker, I always do a 3 straight away, because for me, I think it's very unlikely that he's going to put himself in a position to launch all the way towards my side of the board. Probably only Luke being able to reach that far in his list, unless he's playing Fenn Rau himself or maybe a Wedge, but Wedge will deplete himself if he wants to boost. So I always 3 straight against a Luke or a BOE Wedge. And then what I'll do is, Vader won't be on the board. Let's just undo him. What I do is I'll 3 straight and I'll look at the board. I'll be like, cool, he's done a 1 straight. I definitely boost here. That's just a free boost. As long as there's no one else contesting this range here, I always boost. So now I'm unstressed because I just boosted, no focus. Unstressed coming into this turn, where most likely he's going to do the exact same thing. And on this turn, I dial in either a 4 or 5 straight. Normally it depends. It's all about reading your opponents. And a lot of the time, like, you've probably seen some of your opponents' games, see how they fly. Like, you can kind of tell how confident they sound in their voice if you're like using a voice. But normally I do a 4. But if you want to be gamble, you can put a 5 in. The only problem is if Luke 1 straights and I 5 straight, that's perfect. We're straight there. However, if Luke does anything faster than a 1, I'm pretty sure a 2 or a 3. If he does a 2, then you just get range. But if he does a 3, you're like right next to each other and you can't shoot him now. Because you'll go like that, you'll go like that. Oh no, yeah, you do get a shot. Cool. So you'll just have a shot there, literally just. But then that's not necessarily where you want to be. Maybe maybe he had someone else next to Luke that would be blocking you, so now you're bumped into someone, stressed yourself. It's not really that hard, but normally I chuck a 4 in. So against Luke, I would go 3 boost, 4 straight, so I get about here. And then if he dialed in a 1, it's a perfect opportunity for you to boost in. Again, you don't really want to boost in and focus boost and stress yourself, because stressing a Fang's not good. If you want to, you probably want to be on the side of the board here, which is how I normally play. I normally play my Fang fighters at the side of the board, because it just means that, if you're going to 4K, that's fine, but I'm going to be turning this way next turn and have access to this whole, where's my pen? This whole side of the board here. And then I can just do a loop-de-loop, come this way, and just slowly turn around the whole way without obviously doing red maneuvers, because you want to have all your what's it called? You want to have tokens. So in this situation, boost in, perfect. Luke's probably here. The rest of his squad, you might have like Wedge, a couple of A-Wings coming up this side of the board. Perfect spot. You're now range 1. You have a 5 dice banger with focus fearless, normally fearless. 5 dice. Oh no. There you go. That's perfect luck, but you normally would get something similar to that, which is great. And if you, a lot of the time, playing Fang fighters, it's always a thing about spending your tokens, and it's like, oh, I'm shooting first, so I want to be really aggressive and shoot them now, or do I want to, kind of like hang back and save that token for defense? It really depends. If he had multiple, I can't copy and paste that apparently. If he had multiple ships targeting Fenn, like, definitely I would think about it. But if Luke, let's just say Luke had a lock on someone else, like, I know there's no way Luke is going to take that range 1 shot on Fenn when he's got a torp on someone else. Like, at the last tournament I went to, I flew Fenn, Dirge, Cad Bane, Lima, and Arlies, and literally in my second game against Rebels, he had BOE Wedge, Yavin, Luke. I think it was like 2 A-Wings and something else. Something like that, yeah. 2 A-Wings and something else. I can't remember exactly. Hera, not Hera. Geez, why can't I remember this? It wasn't even that long ago. Ezra, Keo, and something else. Another 5-pointer. I've got no idea. I can't remember properly. But yeah, so we had this exact situation. He set up Wedge and Luke here. I had Fenn here, Dirge here, and then Lima here, Cadbane coming up the middle. And then I had Ali's on her own around here just to try and get some bait. Ended up doing this exact same thing against Luke. I'm like, okay, realistically, Luke and Wedge are sticking together. There's no way that Luke's going to be doing his attack speed forward. He wants to stay with Wedge, and there's no way Wedge is going to be boosting while and getting a deplete and taking a weak shot against my Fang fighter. So I'm like, I reckon he's going to do a one straight with both of them. So obviously Fenn did a 3, Dirge did a 3, the exact same thing. I thought about it for a second. Dirge did a 3, Lima did a 3. So they all came together, and we're about here. Fenn did a 3, and I'm like, cool, one straight from Luke. Wedge moved after Fenn. I'm like, no way. He's going to boost Wedge and launch down the field. So I'm going to boost now for free. Just take a boost action. So now I'm sitting here. No way for one straight boost is he actually going to hit me there, because he's going to land about here. So got that perfect range control. Next turn, 5 straight down the board. Because again, I've seen this guy play, and he was a little bit. To me, I could tell that he was going to play slow. I don't know. It's like, call it intuition. I've played a lot of Fang fighters, but to me, he's going to do a 1 straight. So 5 straight down the board, perfect position. Fenn is now range 1 of both Luke and Wedge. Turn 1, smash Luke, bunch of damage. The only problem is I didn't get to boost because of where I was, so I was just kind of sitting there. But yeah, so range controlling Luke is not too hard. Because if Luke's going fast, you do a 3 straight. You'd try and barrel roll out of the way if you have that option. I normally always displace my fangs. Like I won't line Fenn unless Fenn's got Predator, and I know it's a good target where I know I know exactly what that ship's going to do. I don't normally line them up directly. I'll probably do it at a little bit of an angle, so just offset by like 1 base, maybe. That gives you option. If you offset by 1 base, it gives you options to barrel roll into bullseye, all that type of stuff, boost into bullseye. So that's useful against Luke. Again, with Vader, what I said earlier, Vader's not too hard, because he's probably, if he's jousting you, which he definitely will. Why did I lock those? He's going to be 5 straight boosting, and you've kind of just got to accept, okay, I'll do a 2 straight this turn. Next turn, I'll do a 2 straight and hope I get decent shots. Because again, like I said, you don't want to be range 2 of Vader, because Vader's a pain in the ass, and Fangs aren't necessarily good at range 2. So just doing on 1 straight, a 2 straight is fine. Otherwise, if he placed Vader first and he went full forward, you go full backwards, because that means that your 2 straight is not as far forward as possible, and I'm pretty sure he can't actually hit you now. If he does a 5 with a boost, just out. So that's another thing you can do if you, because you're forced into doing a speed 2 maneuver or a 1 hard, which you don't want to do because you're turning away from a joust. Because then, to explain that, if you 1 hard, that means next turn he's just going to slow play, because what are you going to do? You either run away or you like 3 hard boost and don't get range 1. But yeah, so if you can, when you're versing a Vader, place yourself fully backwards. That means next turn he's got to decide what he wants to do. I would just do a 2 straight again. I reckon that's probably the safest bet. If you moved first, Vader's probably done a 1, just a range control. But if you move first, I would boost always, just in case. Like, I'd rather just force a bump than be stuck at range 2, obviously. Fenn's 5 points in your list. That's a quarter of your list. If it's AMG, is 6 points, so that's more than a quarter of your list. You need to guarantee, you need to guarantee that you take those points back, or you be as much of a nuisance as possible. So obviously here, Vader 1 straighted. Oh no, what's he gonna do? I don't think he can afterburners out of that. No, he can't. Maybe he barrel rolls. Doesn't really matter. He's probably just gonna take a focus lock, and you're in a beautiful decision there, a beautiful spot there to shoot him. If he goes faster, he bumps you. Not too much of a hassle. And then obviously if he moves first, like, was a boost, it's a 2 straight. If he moves first at a 1, he can't afterburners. Oh, sorry, it's not allowed afterburners with a speed 1 maneuver. He can't afterburners. Maybe he barrel rolls. You can move. You can see the range. Have a look. Think for yourself. Is that range 1? No, that's range 2. Definitely is range 2. If it's range 2, obviously boost. If you do not think it's range 1, your boost will land. I'm pretty sure there's I'm pretty sure a boost is exactly range 1. Oh no, just less. So like if you want to do that, you can always try and land a boost just to guarantee it. If you can land a boost, you're going to be in range 1, so it's worth it. You will stress yourself, which is still a little bit of a problem with Fang fighters. Good news is they do have the 2 hards to help get out of that situation. But yeah, it's all about judging. It's really tricky to explain how to fly a Fang fighter to a newer player, because like it takes a lot of time to learn these distances and learn how to judge things properly. And for me, it's taken a very long time. Like in my YouTube history, it actually it'll show exactly the process I took, which is when I started recording my videos, it was to help me. It was like it was like at the start of this year, and I was planning on going to the GT in Australia, the Brisbane GT in November, and I was like, you know what? Let's smash out this list. Let's start recording my games. Let's start reviewing my games, figuring out what to do better. And that really helped. Um, but it's all about knowing your list, knowing how your list fares against other lists. Like I know that for me against Empire, it's a toss up unless I can get some decent shots on Vader. Me against Rebels, it's a toss up. Like your normal Rebel list with Luke and Wedge, like it's a toss up. I've got no idea whether I'm going to win or lose, but I'll try and do my normal process: kill Luke, kill Wedge. Don't let Luke regenerate. Go after the A wings when needed. Make sure you stay on top of objectives. Um, it's tricky. But you need to make the Fang fighters worth their points, which is kind of hard to do on everyone but Fenn. Um, but one thing you will definitely need to learn if you want to play Fang fighters is your 2 hard range, because that is extremely important. 2 hards are a little bit hard to. Well, it took me a while to figure out the distancing right, but saw this trick is that a 2 hard is basically moving your base diagonally. So if we chuck him in there, that's about right. So basically, you can fit 1 base in that 2 hard distance. So 1 base diagonally. So you will move. So the back of your base will be situated 1 across, 1 up, basically perfectly like that. See, like it's a little bit more than that, but it is still um, very close to that. And I've been using that a lot. It makes it really. It makes it a little bit easier for my mind to justify it. Like obviously it's still tricky, because if there's a rock next to you here, like you've got to be careful, because if it's just that little bit, if you look at it, oh, that looks just more than 1 base, maybe I hit that, you're going to hit that. And obviously, in a lot of situations, a 2 bank boost is not worth it. You can't do a 3 hard because you're stressed, and you don't want to be stressed because Fangs always need tokens to help them. Um, yeah, yeah, it just takes a little bit of time. Um, so yeah, basically that's a quick explanation of how I range control. Vader can be applied to any ship that has a 5 straight and a boost. Luke can be applied to any ship that has a 4 straight. If a ship has a 4 straight as their maximum move, just do a 3 straight with your fangs. If a ship has a 5 straight as its maximum move, try and start backwards and do a 2 straight. If it's something like Vader who can joust you on its own, um, start backwards. If it's something like, um, what would you say? Like Initiative 5 TIE Advanced, Marek Steel, something like that. Like they can try and joust you, but on their own, they're not necessarily that good. And if you have Beskar in AMG points, if you have Beskar and Fend, it does help, especially against those TIE Advance. What other factions did I play? I played a First Order faction that a First Order list that was a little bit annoying. I got to say, First Order is your probably easiest bet. They're pretty flimsy. Everything's flimsy. Fenn can clean them up. Your other ships can just chip them down. Like they have 3 agility. They roll bad once, they're dead. Exactly like a Fang fighter. Roll bad once, they're dead. Pardon me, I just got to sneeze. Jesus sucks. I'm sick 2 days before Christmas. But yeah, so um, what was I saying? Um, game knowledge. You got to have a lot of faction knowledge, and you got to know how how easy it's going to be for you to kill your opponents. Always have backup, like whatever list I fly with Fenn. Normally, it's a 5 ship list where I have one or two pieces who can focus on objectives because objectives win you the game. As good as Fang fighters are at jousting and killing ships, every single game I've won with this list is because I know when to justify taking objectives over taking actions to help me kill ships. Like you kind of just got to trust. You just got to trust that it's gonna help. Um, what else? What other tips can I have for Fang fighters? Know your ranges, which is what I explained earlier. Know your two hards because it's really important. Your straights are easy enough. Um, Make sure that if you are going to boost it lands because tokens are super important. Fearless is your best friend because passive mods on attack is exactly what makes all your Battle of Yavin stuff, all your Battle of Endor stuff good. Get as many passive stuff as you can. So Fearless, Predator, Beskar is really good. Mando Optics is great. They just give you free locks for later on. Um, don't hit rocks. Don't hit rocks. And then also, if you're going to set up an asteroid field and you're planning on jousting and you normally take your fangs down the sides, don't chuck a rock here because you're going to find that. Is that the right Fenn? This is the right Fenn. You're going to find that if you do launch up the board and, like, let's just say you start here and you end up doing that 5 straight, or the first turn you 3 straight, then boost, that's equivalent to a 5 straight. Next turn, you do a 5 straight or you 4 straight boost or whatever, you're going to be in a tough spot with that rock there. So I very much recommend if you are going to do anything like that, do not put a rock at 2-2 because you get put into a very weird spot. That whole area here, like this whole area here, do not let your opponent, well, let your opponent can put rocks there, but do not put rocks there on your jousting lane. So here or here, do not do that. I would put it, if you anything, I'd put it out here a little further. That gives you access to the 2 hard and boost in because you don't really want to barrel roll because there's going to be ships coming around this way. Maybe try and place your rocks down like this pattern. I normally try and make the if you're confident with fangs, try and make your asteroid field a little bit clustered. Like if you know you can fly through it, you can fly through it. But if your opponent, like if there's like a couple lanes that your opponent has to take, I don't know. Let's just change these up because is that 6? That's 6. That's good enough. Like if there's a couple lanes that your opponent kind of has to take to get through the field, like if it's something like this, they have to come here, they have to come here. Like you can very much capitalize on that, and Fenn can just boost around. Next turn, he can't go straight, so you can do a 2 bank. 2 bank, boost. Next turn, 2 hard. You can fit a 2 hard in there. Coming around, boost again. And if they've followed that pattern of like one ship comes down here, a couple come that way, you've just gone over here to shoot that way. Sorry, where's my pen? You've come, if someone's here, come all the way up the board here, shot that guy, turned here, whoever's coming in here, you can shoot them here, or you could bank boost out if they've come down into this area a little bit more. And then, like, if you're coming around this way, you might be an objective and you just need to peel off for a second. Do hard boost in here. Now you're in this position. Yeah. Actually, that's what can help you. If you wanna get good at Fang fighters, just practice flying them around the board, only doing 2 maneuvers and boosting. Because their 2 maneuvers are all blue. So if you can get really good at moving them around the board and learning how when to boost and when not to boost, all that type of stuff, and just moving around the field doing only 2 maneuvers, you can make sure that you can always get where you need to be around stuff and stay stressed because like Fang fighters, don't like being stressed because that limits them to realistically these 3 maneuvers of different bearings. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 maneuvers of different bearings. Yeah, that's about all the tips I can give. Like range controlling, flying Fenn, always be range 1. So always be range 1. That's cool. Yeah, always be in range 1. Or if you can't get into range 1 and all you've got is a crappy shot, it is worth it to just arc dodge. Like Fenn's a 5-point ship /5/6-point ship. You need to make sure he's getting shots off. But if he's going to be taking a crappy shot and taking a banger of a shot back, arc dodge. Whatever ships you have with Fenn, I recommend having a 5-ship list with 2 of them being objective getters, or one of them one ship where the way I normally flew it is one ship is a like just stapled objective getter. Like your job is to grab an objective, and like if it's assault, your job is to jump from objective to objective. If it's salvage, your job is to always pick up a crate and keep it. Even if you've got one agility like a Y-wing, just your job is to get that and make sure that you have that for at least 2 rounds. And then if it's what's the other one? The other one's scramble the transmissions where you flip it. You can take it and then your opponent can take it back. That one's a little bit tricky, but yeah, you need to make sure you have one ship able to go around the board constantly grabbing those from your opponent. Yeah, it all comes down to reps with your list. You need to have that. Pardon me. You need to have that. Those reps. You need to know when is a good time to take an objective, especially with Fenn. Like Fenn is really good with objectives. Like at initiative 6, like if he's not really taking any shots, and maybe he's taking one range 3 shot from a TIE fighter, maybe grab an objective. I've done that plenty of times where I've pulled up into range. I've just done like a 4 straight into range 1 of some guy, and I'm like, it's one ship. I'm Fenn Rau. I'm going to claim the objective. And you end up rolling okayish, maybe take a damage, but you've got an objective now that your opponent has to take from you. Yeah. What else can I say? Not much. Yeah. Reps. Try your best. List build around Fenn, but make sure that your other ships can still get kills. So I would go Fenn and 2 other main attackers. One's like attacker that can grab objectives when needed. For me, that's Cad Bane with Zuckuss. He's really good. Then 1 ship guaranteed, just like spend the whole time grabbing an objective. With XWA points, I haven't really played too much with Fenn Rau. I think now that he's 5 points of 3 loadout, it's a little bit tricky because he doesn't get Beskar, which sucks. He gets Fearless, which is good. You can chuck Lone Wolf if you want. I think he's still worth it for 5 points. Definitely is worth it for 5 points. All right, sorry, I had to cough. Yeah, and XWA is definitely worth it for 5 points. Other factions have a lot of 5-point options, which are as good or better than Fenn, which kind of sucks. But again, like if I'm flying Fenn, 5-ship list, 2 objective getters, 2 attackers, and Fenn. I recommend taking a mix of 1 big and 2 smallish rocks. My normal go-to with a Fenn list is this one here, number 2 here, and then the gas cloud number 4. That's normally my go-to. I might switch that one out for, is it 3? That one, the finger-looking one, the pointer. Is that the pointer or is it finger? Is there a finger one or is that the finger one? Anything on? Cool, yeah. I normally switch it out to that. I like taking rocks because I feel like they punish my opponent more. You don't have large base ships, so gas clouds are kind of like, like you can take them, you can't. But yeah, I think I've already summed it up, but I'll just do one more summary. Know your list. Figure out your targets on your opponent's side. Who do you need to kill? Make sure you can kill them. Make sure Fenn goes after them. Don't be too afraid. Fang fighters are very they're very like glass cannony, like they die if you roll bad, but get them into range one if you can. Just luck mitigation. You have Concordia, luck mitigation all the time. Um, have good supporting ships in your list. Like, don't necessarily take a coordinator. I need to mess around with coordinating Fenn, but don't have to take a coordinator. But I recommend taking ships that can do objectives for you. Don't ignore objectives. It's another one. Know your 2-speed maneuvers. Don't hit a rock. Yeah, that's about it, eh? I don't know. This video turned out longer than I thought. I thought it was going to take 15 minutes, but explaining stuff. But yeah, you can kind of apply what these guys do. These two chassis, you can apply them to whatever's similar. The only thing would be large base ships are a little bit weird, but like, what large base ships have really flown in XWA points? Sorry, because that's what mainly people are using now. Like, maybe if you verse another scum ship, another scum list, that's kind of bad. Ray, be very careful around Ray. Like, you and Ray are both massive attackers at range one. She technically is better than you, but yeah, don't be too afraid. But yeah, cool. Yeah, I hope that was clear. I've got my face cam up now. Face cam's here, not here. I got like my PC and like my face cam's on the side of like here instead of here. But yeah, that's cool. I don't know. I don't know if anyone really cares, but I'm gonna have it on. Um, but yeah, I'll have to do more X-Wing videos. I've just been running out of time, and it's like, Christmas holidays. I've still got uni going on over holidays, so I'm a little bit busy. I'm currently sick, which is great. 2 days out from Christmas. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this if you did watch it. And I know that's not really needed because not many people play Fang Fighters, but yeah, Fenn Rau's cool. I would definitely give him a try. All right, cool. Catch you next time.